Done installing the CloudExtend app? Now, let me show you how to use it. I will walk you through on how to build a template, then how to retrieve and update existing records from NetSuite to Excel. Next, we'll be showing you different ways to create new records, then how to delete records faster. Let's start to log in first. CloudExtend will reside on your Data tab on your ribbon bar. Then let's click the icon to load the application. Click Sign in with Microsoft and then enter your NetSuite account ID. You will see your NetSuite account ID on your NetSuite URL. Enter your NetSuite credentials. Choose the role that you want to use. Click Allow, as CloudExtend will inherit the permissions that you have in NetSuite. Now, you are ready to build a template. Template is important as it holds the mapping of NetSuite records and fields to Excel. You can select the fields with our easy-to-use interface. When a template is loaded into the worksheet, it becomes an Excel table. Let's create a brand new template. Keep the Start with Template button off, then select Create New Records. It will show you the list of record types available to you. I will be creating a template using journal entry. I will use the search box to search for the record. At this point, it is pulling all the fields available to my role, standard fields, custom fields, etc. Select the fields that you want. You can scroll up and down, and all the fields will be displayed, but I like to type ahead on the search box. Then, I will click the tick box of the field I want to add on my template. Let's determine the fields that we want to use when creating a template. It would be best to have your NetSuite form open so you would be able to identify the header level fields and the line level fields that we will be using, and make sure to include all mandatory fields. So I'm on my NetSuite right now. This is my journal entry form. I have entry number, date, and memo. I would want that to be on my template. The custom form, this is defaulted to the preferred form that is set up in your NetSuite. We should be using the field ID name from NetSuite. To get the field ID, just hover on the field name and click it. It will give you the field ID. Now, let's add Tran ID, Tran date, and memo to my CloudExtend template. In NetSuite, these are my line level fields. So if I want to add it to my CloudExtend template, I'll click the plus sign and add more fields. I'll click this and then I'll add a count. If I want to narrow down the search, I can type line list colon. I will choose debit, credit, department, and memo. After selecting the fields, you can click continue, then select yes. Note that loading the template will clear out any data that you have on your current worksheet. Toggle the Save As button to save the template, and click the Save and Enter Data button if you want to load the template to your worksheet. To build a template from scratch, we need to keep the Start with the Template button off, then select Search and Download. I like to use this if I want to pull a subset of records from NetSuite to Excel. Select the record you want to use. I will search for vendor bill, but feel free to scroll from the drop-down and all available record types to your role will be showing on the list. Once record type has been selected, choose the fields you want to add to your template. Type any part of the field name on the search box or scroll to locate the fields. To add more fields, click the plus button on the panel. Once done, click Continue, then select Yes. Note that loading the template will clear out any data that you have on your current worksheet. To apply a filter, turn on the Apply Filters button. You can choose to pull using Save Search or creating rules from the CloudExtend panel. I will talk about this feature more shortly. Toggle the Save As Template button to save the template, and click the Save and Download button to load the template to your worksheet. Let's talk about the CloudExtend workspace. Row 1 is reserved to hold the names of NetSuite fields. This has the mapping of two systems and should not be edited unless you are a power user. The names are hidden, but you can expose by clicking in a cell on row 1. You can see it here. Row 2 are table headers. So you can freely edit this. This will not affect anything. Column A is a reserved field for error messages. Any error messages that are being sent by NetSuite will be seen on this column. You can also see the CloudExtend operations. Upload to NetSuite to update or create new records. Reload records if you want to pull records that is already on the table or if you want to use save search or filter. Delete if you wish to delete records in NetSuite, but this depends on your NetSuite role. If you click on the cell that has a list type format, the picklist selection box will be available for you. You can use the picklist feature and select from the list. You can expand to see more items on the list, use the search box, and select the field. Or you can just type the data into the sheet. CloudExtend identifies picklist values while you type the data into the sheet or enter off the cell. Just put any part of the name. No need to remember or look up the IDs. The picklist panel has been redesigned and is now a draggable pane where you can see the complete list and select the values easily. It can be minimized when not in use. The cell operation feature has two selections on the pane that will let you set value to empty for header fields, or if you want to select value from a picklist. When you type the keyword on the cell within the table, CloudExtend looks up for its exact match. The cell will be gray during the lookup, and if the value was found successfully, the cell will be back to normal. I will show you an example. I will enter 1000 on the cell and hit Tab to trigger the search. Then see how the cell changed from gray back to normal when the value was found. Next scenario is I will enter income on the cell and hit Tab. Since the keyword is not specific, the cell is now highlighted yellow. Also, a notification popped up on the reserve field and on the CloudExtend panel to select from the list or enter a more specific term. If there are no matches, the cell will be highlighted in red. Error notification will show on the CloudExtend panel and reserve field to let you know that you need to enter a valid value. There are multiple ways to pull data from NetSuite using CloudExtend from the welcome screen. By creating filters or using save searches, it will be quick to download and manage data using CloudExtend. Now that we have the template, we can apply filters. Select Create New Filter, then using Rules, I will create a new rule to pull up vendor bills created on or after August 1st. Let's name the filter, then save, and you can save the template. Click Save and Download button to load the template and it will stream down the records to your worksheet. If you want to pull data using save searches, you can do that too. After creating the template, click Continue, then Yes, turn on Apply Filters button, then select Using Save Search. Choose the save search you want to use and select the filter you want to load. Toggle the Save As Template button to save the template and click Save and Download button to load the template to your worksheet. You can create multiple filters and choose between the filter on the list if you want to reuse them. If you already have an existing template and you want to download the data from NetSuite to the CloudExtend template, do the following. Start with Template button, it should be on, and click Search and Download with Template. From here, select the template you want to use from the selection screen and click the Play button. If you want to use filters, click Continue, then hit Yes. It will clear out any data that you have on your current worksheet. Turn on the Apply Filters, then you can reuse the filters previously created or click the plus sign to create a brand new filter. After that, click Save and Download, and it will pull the data from NetSuite to your template using the filter you've created. If you want to pull records using Save Search, you can turn on Apply Filters and reuse the Save Search you previously used, or click the plus sign to assign a new Save Search criteria to the list. Click Save and Download to stream down the data from NetSuite to your template using the filter. If you have a template and a set of internal IDs you want to update, you can download those records from NetSuite to your Excel. Just take the internal ID, put it on the internal ID field on your template, and click on Reload Records. Hit Reload Records and it will pull all the records that you have on the internal ID field. If you want only selected fields from the internal ID, highlight only on those cells that you want to reload and then toggle the records on selected row before hitting the reload records. After downloading or pulling data into the template, you can update records in a few clicks. To update, all you need to make sure is the internal ID remains on the internal ID column. In this way, we are telling the system to update the existing record with the corresponding internal ID. This is the record I want to update in NetSuite. I want to update the memo, the amount, and location. So on the CloudExtend app, I will be going in here and put a value on the memo field, change the amount from 100 to 50, and then update the location. Let's send this back to NetSuite. Then go to Upload to NetSuite, then Upload Records. If you have multiple records in the table and you want to push back a set of records, highlight the column of records you want to send back. Then enable the records on selected rows only, then upload selected records. This will only push back the records of internal IDs that you highlighted. To push all the records in the table, turn it off, then upload. In the event that you want to add lines to an existing record, just pull the record from NetSuite to your template. Depending on the number of lines to be added, repeat the header level values. This is for NetSuite to treat them as one record. Then, add the line level details. You can copy from one sheet to another. Once done, send this back to NetSuite by clicking Upload to NetSuite, then Upload Records. There are 3 ways to create a new record. I will be using journal entry on this example. First, create a record based on the existing record from NetSuite. To do that, get the internal ID field, then paste it on the internal ID column. Hit Reload, then Reload Records. This will pull the data into your template. To create a new record, it is important to remove the internal ID and Tran ID values if you have the Tran ID field. You may update other values on the table, header level fields such as date, department, or other entry details before sending it back. Go to Upload to NetSuite, Upload Records to create a new record. If the internal ID is returned and it's highlighted in green, it means that your journal entry has been successfully created. This is how it looks like in NetSuite. No need to create a record from scratch. You can also do this if you have multiple records on your template. Second, you may prepare the data beforehand and copy-paste the values or use Excel formulas to your template. I have the data I want to upload on the other sheet, and that source data should have similar structure on how I created my template. I'm just going to send this to NetSuite and wait for the feedback. Let's create multiple NetSuite records. So I want to create 2 records from scratch, and I will populate the date field. Remember, for those that do have the same header level fields, NetSuite will treat them as one record. So I'll just put the values in here, And on the line detail, if I have a field that is set up as list type from NetSuite, I can use the picklist feature. I can use this box and select items from the list, or I can type ahead on the search box. And if I don't want to use that, I can easily type ahead on the cell. And it will also look for that matching item. I will populate the amount. I will populate debit, credit, and the department field as well. I'm ready to insert this, and as you can see, this created two records since they have different tran date value. If I go to NetSuite, this is how it looks like. On instances that you want to create multiple records with the same tran date, you can use other fields to split the records. I can use external ID, department, memo, and for this example, I will use tran date and memo. But you can use whatever that you prefer. Let me push this to NetSuite. As you can see, this created two records in NetSuite. It is best to have your header level fields first on your template when you build it so that you can easily identify and manage the records that you want to update or create. I will show you how to delete a record or delete lines from an existing record. You must have delete permission on your NetSuite role for you to be able to do this action. So let's delete an existing record first. If you know the internal ID, just get the internal ID from NetSuite, put it on the internal ID field on your CloudExtend template, and you don't even need to reload or pull the data to the template. If you have the internal ID, just plug it in, click delete from NetSuite, then delete records. And the records that you have on the table will be deleted. You would know because the cell will be highlighted in gray once deleted. In the scenario that you've pulled multiple records from NetSuite using filters or save searches, you can highlight the cells that you want to delete in NetSuite. So I'm on my template right now. I just want to delete this set of records. I'm highlighting the cells, then I'll go to delete from NetSuite, and then I'm going to toggle records on selected rows only before deleting the records. If you have an existing record and you wish to remove lines, you can do that within the CloudExtend application as well. Just pull the record from NetSuite to Excel, highlight the row that you want to remove, then right-click on the row on your Excel, choose Delete. Once done, send it back to NetSuite. Just go to the CloudExtend panel, then upload to NetSuite, then upload records. To check if the changes took effect, you can validate if the update has been posted successfully. Hope you find this worthwhile. Thanks for watching.